Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another. I'm going to redo that.
I think you should keep it in the episode. It's endearing.
We should keep it in the episode. I'm the rat, and this is the rat's nest. I say what? Say hi, Kyle.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome back to yet another anime episode review, because I don't think I got to say that in the intro. Jujutsu Kaisen, Season 2, Episode something, because I'm smart, and I don't know what episode it is, named something. Kyle, if you had to rate this episode on a holy shit, Sukuna was in it, to a holy shit, Sukuna was in it, what rating would you give it?
You know what? I think this might be pretty controversial, but I think I would rate it a holy shit, Sukuna was in it.
Dude, I knew you could appreciate my goat being in here. Thank you for choosing an option.
Genuinely speaking, like, if I had to give a genuine response, I would call this a near 10 out of 10. Like, for an adaptation, this was a spectacular episode.
MAPPA? Dude, okay.
They did a great job. Like, great. Just all the funny adjectives, all the words you could throw. Wouldn't even begin to describe my emotions watching this episode. Just because, like, you know, it's a really good fight in the manga, but like, oh my, it's generational. They did such a good job handling it.
I think, what you call it? So just say, let's talk about the episode was Yuji versus Chozo. That was the episode. We could talk about some of the character stuff, right?
Yeah, individual moments.
Also, going to go ahead and say spoiler warning. We're caught up to the manga. We're going to talk about the manga probably. I don't know how far we're going to get, but spoiler warning. So we don't have to restrict ourselves here. The fight itself, dude. MAPPA. Okay, so let's first, obviously animation, right? Not to downplay the animation, obviously absolutely phenomenal. Something that I noticed, you mentioned the music, and we could talk about that after this, but the colors, because they're in the subway, right? And the lighting is like the neon signs. Dude.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of the colors too. Like how in the bathroom, it was just the bathroom lights were so interesting. I thought all the lighting was impeccable. Really good lighting.
Just like such an incredibly well-directed episode. Like, just every part of it was just like another jaw on the floor, very intimate meeting. It was like, dude.
Very intimate sexual encounter.
Like, look, I love Shibuya. I've always loved Shibuya. I think, it's one of, if not my favorite arc in Shonen. Dude, they could, like, this was better than the manga. I'll just say it.
Flat out.
Just objectively, this was better
than
the manga.
The OST in the manga wasn't as good as the OST here.
It's so true.
Okay.
The manga OST doesn't really hit sometimes.
You know what this isn't like, I know that all anime can't really meet the standard, but you know what a good anime adaptation does for the original source material?
What does a good anime adaptation do for the source material?
It enhances the viewer experience. It doesn't just aim to make a simple, just kind of, one-to-one. It goes above and beyond to enhance it. And there aren't that many that I would qualify as enhancing the experience. Where, like, a lot of times, right, you'll read a manga and you'll watch an anime, but overall it's like, okay, the anime had certain good moments, but the manga's overall better. I think for moments like this or episodes like this, the anime just blows the manga out of the water, which is the manga is still great. Don't get me wrong for this particular fight, but just everything was so good.
I think that.
Sorry,
you can finish what you were gonna say.
Oh, I was just gonna list off like the choreography, the animation, the music, the lighting, just the voice acting and narration too. Just the flow of everything. Just getting to see some of the changes too. Like in the manga, right? I don't know what I expected from the piercing blood, but it's just like how that was animated. How it's just like this consistent high pressure blood beam that would just like cleave, funny word, through stuff.
What?
It was really
Gojo reaction, dead Gojo reaction, I should say.
Yeah, it was everything about it just worked so well. Especially like one of the lighting things that I really enjoyed is in the bathroom where it was like a lot of blue and red lighting, specifically because of the blood.
Mm-hmm.
I thought
Yeah.
the blood was very well animated, and I loved seeing how it all like moved around. Like Yuji's face reaction as it like peeled off his face and went back to Chozo. Just see, it was all just really good.
It's insane. What I was gonna say was talking about like the adaptations, right?
Yes.
You know, so like looking at the quote unquote big three of Japanese anime media, anime, manga, light novels, right? You have like an adaptation. So like some stories are going to be better in one medium than others, and some stories are going to, you know, flourish in one medium more than others. One that I'll say, this is such a random out of left field one, Bakemonogatari as a light novel. Like, okay, I haven't seen the anime, I can't speak to the adaptation really, but I know that like with the way that Nisi Oisin writes it, I probably butchered that name. But with the way that the author writes the Bakemonogatari series, like reading it itself is the experience. Looking at manga, you know, I would say that the Chainsaw Man manga is the definitive experience just because of the way that, you know, Fujimoto writes and panels and just the way that he uses the manga medium to tell the story. Whereas, and this is nothing against Greg, I love Greg as a mangaka and an author, but like just looking at this fight specifically, this fight was always going to translate better to an anime because getting to see it in action with the sound effects, with the music, with everything, with the animation, with the voice acting.
Another thing too,
just
in general,
that fight, and you know, a lot of fights in general are just going to translate better to anime. And like that doesn't mean that's a gimme. You know, a worse studio would not do as good, but MAPPA, I mean, what even more can we say? It's just insane how good it was.
And I think just for fights in general, I think fight sequences will always be better in motion, like in animation, right? I mean, you could. It depends. I know that it's not all the time, but I would say more often than not.
I think that you can have different strengths. So, like, one of my favorite fights in manga, anime, light novels, whatever, comes from a light novel. Like, and just the way that it is physically written was so engaging. I love it. I love it so much. And I genuinely can't wait to see it adapted. It's like, oh, it's gonna be good. And then, you know, you also have, like, you know, to talk on more modern manga, like to look at Mama Yu Yu, which I know that you're not caught up on, but Kagurabachi, but to look at Mama Yu Yu, because I'd say the author does it more there, is the way that he uses paneling in the fights. That like it is like objectively, I don't believe that you can replicate that with anime. So the manga is just going to be a different experience with the fights. I love check out Mama Yu Yu if you haven't. You know, I genuinely really love that manga so far. You know, I think that you can have ways to make fights like engaging and like specific to the medium outside of the thing outside of anime, you know, but because like fights won't always translate. So like Reign of the Seven Spellblades, right? I love it. It's in my top 10, you know, probably. Anyways, I don't know. It might have been out. It's probably been edged out by Berserk. I'd have to go back and formally remake my list. But Reign of the Seven Spellblades, like that's the one that I was talking about. Volume 5 of Reign of the Seven Spellblades. If there is someone watching this video at this point who has somehow read that, I love that. Like that is one of my favorite fights just ever. I love it. I love it so much. And Reign of the Seven Spellblades, like the writing of the fights are so good. And Volume 7 has some phenomenal fights in it too. There's one that I absolutely, the entire thing is basically one big fight. And I love it. Like the way that Reign of the Seven Spellblades is written goes towards like it makes the fights super engaging. And like I've enjoyed the anime, but like also like there is something lost. And so like Reign of the Seven Spellblades is like in my mind like the penultimate example of like, not the penult, that's a stupid word, that's not the right word to use there at all, is like the prime example of like a story that uses its format to its advantage when writing fights. Whereas like Mama Yu Yu would be like the first one that comes to mind with manga versus Jujutsu Kaisen where MAPPA just cooks with the anime, you know, what you call it.
I will say, when I was saying what I was saying earlier, I was mostly talking anime versus manga. I think all three do have their strengths, but I would
fight scenes in light novel are like harder to grasp.
Yeah.
And also less people read light novels. I'm just a light novel nerd.
But indirectly, what I say here, I'm not like this does not involve light novels. I'm not a light novel reader. I can't speak on light novels. But in the anime versus manga, I do think more often than not, I think fights are better in the anime because I think with getting to see it all in motion, stuff usually translates better. Especially with like what am I trying to say here? Getting kind of like what we talked about this episode, the OST, the background accompaniment, getting to see just how all it's animated. Because, like for example, I already said that with Piercing Blood. I'm trying to think of a better example here.
Of like how stuff enhances like perspective.
I'm spiraling, yeah, perspective. That's a good word.
Like I loved seeing the perspective like of the shot of like we got to see from Chozo's perspective, like his hands and he's following Yuji and everything. That was sick.
I will say, I do think like okay. Here's one thing I'll give manga credit for over anime in most cases. Whereas I do think anime have better consistent fight sequences. I think that like the like the artwork of manga for like stills in the manga go insanely hard compared to the anime.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and that's just one of the things that manga has over anime. Like just the works of art physically in the manga, like those will I don't think that there's many singular frames in anime that are ever going to hit as hard as like a panel of manga.
But also, another reason why I think JJK's fights are just better in the anime, a lot of them are kind of not necessarily movement-based, but there is a lot of dynamic movement that, as great as Gege does it, Greg, Freudian slip, as good as Greg does it in the manga, I think, like Bookie Wookie, for example. That's just, to me, so much more fun to see in animation. Because you get to see like everyone getting like all the not all the bad guys that fight. Well, later we'll see more, but like when Hanami fights it, you get to see just like how quickly things can like change whenever he claps.
Yeah, it can be easier to visualize some stuff in the anime.
Yeah.
No, I think that's entirely right and correct. Just getting to see stuff animated. Well, typically, and I think part of that is the studio as well, because I mean, you absolutely could have a bad adaptation of this, but like, it's not just MAPPA doing a one-to-one adaptation, right? Like JoJo's. I don't think that it's controversial to say that David Production does a one-to-one adaptation with the manga. Essentially,
they do.
And that's not a bad. Me when the JoJo manga is good and the anime adapts it, and the anime is good. That's crazy. But I think that MAPPA takes Jujutsu Kaisen and actively adds to it, and actively adds to the quality of it. The viewer experience. It's like looking at the JoJo's anime, right? I love it. I love the JoJo's anime. I love the JoJo's manga, but I don't think that I can say objectively that any fight in the anime is better than it was in the manga.
Because it's the same almost.
It's the same, and that just, speaks to Araki's skill as a mangaka. And it's not to downplay Greg's skills as a mangaka, because he is very skilled, he is very talented, he's a phenomenal writer and artist. But just MAPPA with the way that they like take these fights and make them for the anime, it's just on a different level.
Yeah, I would say a lot of anime do a good job adapting fights in a pretty near one-to-one way, but I think a very, very few anime scratch that itch of enhancing a viewer experience. Like watching it, I mean, Brandon can attest. There are some moments where it's just like a lot of external vocal, just like, oh my god, like just actively being giddy and excited watching it.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane, and I think that it shows how much MAPPA cares, to where one, they can do that, and two, they can do it well. Jujutsu Kaisen is very obviously the gifted child of the MAPPA verse.
Because to
Chainsaw Man, which will never get a season 2 because they were stupid and only did 12 episodes for season 1. That we need to do a Two Idiots talk about the Chainsaw Man anime situation. That's what I didn't
know that there was a situation.
Yeah, we'll do a Two Idiots on it. But
okay, I can give another good example. Baki, for example, right? I read some of the Baki manga, and Brandon and I both watched the anime, and I will say for as fun and great as the anime is, I still think the manga does better. Like I do. I frankly do. Like
From what I've seen of the manga, this is extremely like off topic and extremely like dumb and stupid and not
We're
at all
going on
like,
a tangent
a
real
valid
quick,
criticism. Whatever. I don't like the manga art style.
Really?
I think the anime art style is leagues better.
Fair enough. But in terms of like how it adapts fights, I think okay, because if you look at some of the artwork of the artist or the author of it, I think how he draws and structures it in the manga, it's just there's more of an emotional reaction for me there than in the anime. Because the anime it's like, oh my god, something crazy's happening. With the manga, you just kind of stop and you're like, oh my god. Like you just have to take a moment to appreciate it. And so, but again, Baki's anime, like other similar anime with fighting, it does a good job adapting that. It's like adapting versus going one step further. And I think that's, to bring it all back around and talk more about it, that's what episodes like Yuji versus Chojo does for me. It shows that MAPPA's not only just taking this and making an anime to sell merchandise because they got to make money somehow. It's giving, like, it's just taking that source material and putting a lot of what seems like love and care, and not only just love and care, but holding the workers' families hostage to make episodes like that.
Look, Kyle. Out of sight, out of mind.
Out of sight, out of mind.
I want to watch funny Chozo Man and funny
they got their
Itadori.
families back. Their families were in fact released because they worked 80-hour work weeks.
I was gonna make the joke of damn, like I guess Mappa's methods work. Like I don't condone it. I don't condone it. But the product's pretty good.
Look, the next set of hostages will be released once Dagon's fight gets adapted. And then the next, and then the next, and soon everyone's families will be back and everything will work out great.
Until Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3.
Oh no, they're holding people in their basement until Gojo versus Sukuna.
That's true. That's true.
They're holding people there until that fight gets adapted.
But dude, what about Kenjaku versus Takaba?
Who?
This was a great episode. So
what else? I'm trying to think what else to say.
To round it off, the character moments. I loved the scene of when we got to see Sukuna, which was goated. I loved how they presented him with just the eyes, and he going like,
oh, that was great. We're like the light.
He realized too that one, he wasn't gonna have to step in, and two, that Chozo was Yuji's brother. I loved that scene where Chozo did it. I was like, holy shit, are we in the panel? Bro, we did not just get the panel. We did not just get the scene. We got a feast. The like filter over it to make it look like an old anime.
Done that a lot for season 2, which I greatly appreciate.
That was in the filter?
Yeah, no, they did the filter. They did it. They do it in their EDs. They did it in Star Child, I think.
I genuinely don't remember that.
You don't? Well, you have to see. They done it. Maybe not quite a bit, but they've done it before this. So I saw it and I was like, oh, they're bringing it back again.
I'd never seen that.
My brother in Christ.
Maybe you're just stupid, because I'm not a fake fan. That's the only logical conclusion. But I love to see it. I love Chozo. I love him as a character. Love him and Yuji. I can't wait to see a lot of their moments later together.
This is kind of random to say. I kind of not sacrifice, but I like Mekamaru being willing to give up like that position just to aid Yuji in the fight. Like not even
if he didn't, Yuji was gonna die, and Yuji being alive was a lot more.
No, but what I mean is like specifically having him like be stuck up on the wall to basically be grabbed by Chozo and like shattered.
Yeah, no, I like it too. Also, I mean, just like the logistics of the fight as well, like how the fight played off beat to beat. It's just talked about the animation and the adaptation, but like just the writing of the fight itself is so good, and it's such a good fight.
With moments like this, it makes me realize that Yuji he ain't stroking like normal.
Man, Durant ain't stroking like normal, bro. Just say he's missing shots. No, it's just say he's missing shots, dude. I feel like the dude carries a lot of emotion there.
Just say Yuji's not winning fights, Kyle.
And he ain't stroking like usual. He sure isn't.
Oh
my gosh, yeah. No, I mean this is like the I mean to say the prototypical, that word kind of sounds bad. But like this is like the shonen fight where that's so true. Where I'm like, dude, like we get to see the fight move from stage of the fight to stage of the fight. You know, we see
so much happens
the different
in
stages.
this fight.
We get to see why each thing moves, like why it moves to the bathroom, why it has to, whatever, everything that happens at the bathroom.
One thing,
all the planning from the very beginning of the fight of Yuji not being able to use his left hand. Then he's like, okay, I'm going to use my left hand. But then Chozo's already prepared for that by using his blood coagulation to build a shield on his body.
I'll say it. I
think
the fighting in JJK, it does a perfect marrying of strategizing and really cool physical combat. Like it does a good job with the mental and the physical, and a great marrying of the two. Because you know, as you said, one thing leads to another. Like there is a purpose for why stuff happens. It's not just like, oh, big dumb explosion thing happens because a big dumb guy made a big dumb explosion. Like things happen and things have consequences. And there's a perfect flow you can read. Like, okay, they start out here, this happens, okay, it's like what you said, and then why they go into the bathroom and why the rest of it's fought out in the bathroom. And you see how Chozo, like, I really like the moment where it's like Chozo isn't a very experienced fighter, but he just adapted to it on the fly anyway. Like that,
yeah.
Like Chozo earned that win. Chozo did a great job. Yuji did a lot of miscalculating, which he's not going to be catching a break anytime soon, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, but we get to see the goat, so it's all okay.
And yeah, is there anything else to really talk about? Because I mean, there's not many character moments here. Well, I mean, there's some, but like a lot of it is just the action and how it was adapted. And I feel like we touched on that pretty well.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there anything else?
Not really. But I can
the only thing I can say is next episode, guys. Shit's already been hitting the fan, right? Ever since Gojo fought everyone and got sealed, like we've had some good, right? We had MAPPA pleading with Greg, to let them animate Nanami pulling that guy's hair, right? We've had some pretty crazy moments so far.
This is the best fight so far, just objectively. Maybe
just in like all of JJK. Look, I love, you know me, I'm a big stan of Yuji and Todo versus Hanami. That was like my favorite fight of the anime so far. This probably takes it. I mean, I could rewatch this fight for hours. This is just a really good fight. But guys, lads, ladies, I don't know what the percentage of y'all on the channel are.
Oh, it's a solid 0.
Perfect.
They call me the 100%.
Gentlemen's Club.
Gentlemen from the United States and the Philippines. Second biggest nation of Rat's Nest viewership is the Philippines. Shout out to the Philippines. I love you guys over there, wherever the Philippines is. I'm just joking. I know that it's next to Brazil.
Lads, we get it next episode. For those who don't remember, we get a certain little squid man.
Squid Games.
No, that's a later arc, Brandon. That's a later arc.
No. Fortnite arc is later. I'll never forgive you for telling me that, by the way. You were like, dude, Fortnite arc. And I was like, there's no way that it's a Fortnite arc. And then it was a Fortnite arc. I'm still getting you back for that by spoiling the entirety of last chapter without you even knowing. It was great.
You'll never be able to get me back for Fortnite arc.
Oh my gosh,
But yeah, next episode we get Dagon, and you know what we get next. That's already one of my favorite moments of Shibuya. Like me personally, right? I don't know what is the most like popular moment of Shibuya in the community. Do you know?
The most popular moment of Shibuya?
Yeah.
I mean, strictly most popular, I'd say probably something Gojo related, like him getting sealed, just because Gojo's the most popular character.
But like I know a lot of people get, and look, I get giddy over Mahoraga too, but there's just something that hits different about the Dagon fight, where like okay, they were gonna win anyway, right? Do you remember that, right?
Yeah.
Where they were about to escape the domain, they were gonna get out, and he could only do his domain once. They were gonna beat him, and then Greg, the mischievous motherfucker, pulls. He pulls a fast one over everyone, and it's great. And I cannot wait for next episode.
I was gonna say, but that's a topic for next time.
This episode was fantastic. 10 out of 10. Amazing episode. If this is like the treatment that Yuji versus Chozo gets, I cannot wait.
Yuji versus Mahito is just going to be top one fight of all time of any shonen anime animated ever, just objectively.
It's gonna go hard, man. It's gonna be great.
But that is a video for later time. So if you guys are this far in the video, then obviously there's something you like. So make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment telling me what your favorite part of this episode was. Also, this is completely random and off topic. If you are a fan of Mushoku Tensei, be sure to subscribe, because tomorrow I have coming out, tomorrow as of the time of uploading, my very first video essay talking about how the prologue of Mushoku Tensei sets the stage for the perfect isekai, and you should check that out if you're a fan of Mushoku Tensei.
And if you're not a fan of Mushoku Tensei, you should unsubscribe.
That's you should dislike the video. You should dislike the video. I don't know if I should say that. I don't know what dislikes do to the algorithm, but thank you all for watching. Hope that you all enjoyed, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.